Busan EFM News at 3, I'm Juliet Hom. Prime Minister Chung Hong-won today called for the eradication of corruption and abnormal practices, his latest in a series of appeals to make South Korea a safer country. Park warned that South Korea could not become an advanced country unless it addresses abnormal and ill practices as well as corruption and safety ignorance. Park made the comments in a speech marking the country's National Foundation Day. The case for radical reform has gained urgency since the sinking of a ferry in April that left more than 300 people dead or missing, one of the country's worst peacetime disasters. The ferry disaster triggered collective soul-searching in South Korea, where safety is often overlooked by regulators in cozy relationships with their former colleagues in the private sector. 2 U.S. senior government officials will visit South Korea and Japan next week. U.S. Assistant Secretary of Defense for Asian and Pacific Security Affairs, David Scheer, said he and Assistant Secretary of State for East Asian and Pacific Affairs, Daniel Russell, will visit the 2 Asian countries. Scheer revealed the plan when he attended a reception in the South Korean Embassy in Washington on Thursday, marking South Korea's National Foundation Day and Armed Forces Day. Diplomatic sources said Russell and Scheer will meet with South Korean government officials between Sunday and next Tuesday before traveling to Japan for a 3-day stay. The sources said the 2 officials are expected to focus on coordinating views on topics to be discussed at the 46th Security Consultative Meeting and meetings between South Korean and U.S. Defense and Foreign Affairs ministers set to open in Washington later this month. A new survey after the Hongdo cruise ship accident that left it stranded after the Sewol ferry disaster shows that 10% of cruise ships in operation in Gyeongnam are over 20 years old. An official at the Dongyang Maritime Police said the age of 8 cruise ships among 79 cruise ships operated now in Gyeongnam, including Dongyang, Geoje, and Sachon, are over 20 years old. The age of passenger ship is restricted to 30 years, according to enforcement regulations in the Marine Transportation Act. As the Busan International Film Festival opened, the French Tourism Bureau began promoting French tourism in conjunction with movies. The French Tourism Bureau invited people from the tourism industry who visited the film festival yesterday to a workshop held by the Bureau to introduce new sightseeing products in France. The Bureau also plans to hold an information conference about the filming site for movie Men tomorrow and will actively engage moviegoers about their tourist attractions. The driver's license aptitude test is expected to drastically increase this year. An official at the Busan Nambu Driver's License Examination Office of the Road Traffic Authority said 300,000 licensed drivers among the total driving population in Busan should take an aptitude test by the end of this year. The Australian cabinet has given its approval for fighter jets to join the U.S.-led military action against Islamic State targets in Iraq. Prime Minister Tony Abbott said IS was a death cult that had declared war on the world and must be stopped. Now for the weather. Today's weather in Busan and Gyeongnam will be mostly clear with strong winds around the coastal areas. The high temperature in Busan will be 26 degrees, similar to yesterday. Fine dust concentration levels are normal today. It is currently 24 degrees here in Busan. That wraps up this hour's news. Thank you for joining us. Now you're listening to Busan EFM.
You're listening